the royal family and his official role, they said, we're not going to be paying for your security when you come over here. You know, you've left you're no longer a working royal, so you're not going to get the police force around you when you pay visits here.
He's here, yes, so he's met.
Prince Harry has said he is devastated about losing his latest legal challenge over the security he receives when he's in the UK. The Duke of Sussex's taxpayer-funded protection was downgraded back in 2020 after he stopped being.
What happens when a prince walks away from the only world he's ever known, then tries to come back, only to find the gates locked behind him? This isn't just a family feud, it's a royal Cold War. Prince Harry, once a beloved symbol of modern royalty, now stands exiled not by war, but by choice. And the consequences? Brutal. No invitations, no olive branches, not even a seat at the table for his own father's celebrations. But here's the twist. Behind the silence from Buckingham Palace lies a message louder than any press release. You burned the bridge, now watch it crumble. From desperate calls ignored by King Charles, to William drawing a line that may never be crossed, to Meghan's silent smile as the public turns colder by the hour.
And Harry's argument to the BBC and in court was, I can never leave the royal family.
This isn't just about rejection, it's about erasure. Because in the monarchy, the price of rebellion isn't just distance, it's disappearance. And what's happening now? Even longtime royal insiders say it's unprecedented. Stick around, because this story doesn't end with exile. It begins with it. Prince Harry's fall from grace didn't happen overnight. It cracked slowly, under pressure, until it shattered in front of the entire world. In January 2020, Harry and Meghan shocked the globe by announcing they'd step back from royal duties. But what sounded like a respectful compromise was really the start of a full-blown royal rupture. They wanted financial independence, private lives, and, most controversially, a chance to tell their own story. But in Buckingham Palace, control over the narrative is sacred. You don't rewrite the script unless you plan to burn the stage. The announcement blindsided the royal family.
Unjustified and inferior treatment. But 3 judges at the Court of Appeal today rejected that appeal. Well, now, following that judgment, he's told the BBC that it is currently impossible.
While the public speculated, insiders revealed that even the Queen was informed just minutes before the press. Behind the elegant press releases and somber expressions, the palace's fury was boiling. And it wasn't just about losing a working royal. It was about losing control. What Harry called freedom, the monarchy saw as betrayal. And it was only the beginning. But the backlash was just beginning. If stepping down was the spark, the Oprah interview was the explosion. In March 2021, Harry and Meghan sat opposite one of the most powerful media figures on the planet and dropped bombshell after bombshell. Allegations of racism, abandonment, and a family unwilling to protect them painted the royals not as a beloved institution, but as cold, calculated, and cruel. The world watched in disbelief as Meghan claimed a senior royal questioned her unborn child's skin color.
To the UK. He's also said that because of the current situation, his father, the King, isn't speaking to him. Well, Prince Harry is currently living in California, where he's been speaking to our correspondent Neda Tawfik, and we can bring you that extended interview now.
Harry described being trapped in royal life, and just like that, the veil of royal mystery was torn apart on primetime TV. A monarchy, known for its silence, issued a brief and cautious statement. Recollections may vary, but the damage was done. The trust was shattered. The royal family, once masters of image control, had been outplayed by 2 ex-royals with Netflix contracts and global sympathy. But as months passed, that sympathy began to sour. What once felt like liberation started to feel like a strategic media campaign. And for the first time, people wondered, were Harry and Meghan really victims or architects of their own exile? What happened next would rattle the entire institution. Behind palace walls, the damage was personal. Harry's once close bond with his brother, Prince William, reportedly dissolved into silence and simmering resentment. William was said to be incandescent with rage, not just over the Oprah interview, but but over what he saw as betrayal. And while Harry claimed he wanted reconciliation, his actions told a different story. From explosive interviews to tell-all memoirs, it seemed like every private conversation had the potential to end up in the headlines. For the royal family, where loyalty and discretion are non-negotiable, this was unforgivable. King Charles, now monarch, has taken a firm but quiet stance. According to insiders, he's refused Harry's calls and avoided meetings. There's no place for his youngest son at major royal events, no invitation to Trooping the Color, no appearance at the coronation rehearsal dinner. For a family that publicly preaches unity, their private stance has been brutally clear. Harry is no longer trusted. Worse still, it's not just Harry who's being frozen out. Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet are absent from all plans. They're not just out of the room, they're off the map. And this wasn't just about family anymore. In Montecito, California, Harry and Meghan built a new life. But while the palm trees and privacy may look like peace, the reality is far more fractured. Their move promised freedom, but brought a spotlight even harsher than the one they left behind. With multi-million-dollar deals from Netflix, Spotify, and Penguin Random House, the couple turned their royal exit into a full-blown brand. Documentaries, podcasts, and the infamous memoir Spare kept their names in headlines, but also fueled criticism that they hadn't truly left the royal stage. They'd just changed the scenery. Instead of quiet dignity, they delivered drama on demand, and as the public consumed every detail, from Meghan's tearful revelations to Harry's frostbitten confessionals, something began to shift. Sympathy gave way to skepticism. Once portrayed as survivors of palace cruelty, they were now seen by many as opportunists, profiting off the very institution they claimed to escape. Inside the palace, this wasn't viewed as independence. It was a declaration of war, fought through interviews and book tours instead of swords and crowns. But the most shocking fallout was still to come. Despite the fiery interviews and damning memoirs, Harry has insisted he wants reconciliation. In multiple appearances, he's expressed longing for his father's attention, claiming King Charles won't take his calls and that he's open to forgiveness. But to the royal family, his version of peacemaking feels more like a PR strategy than a genuine olive branch. Because every time Harry opens the door to dialogue, it's followed by another reveal, another accusation, another headline. For the royals, speaking to Harry is like stepping into a trap. They're not just family anymore, they're content. Sources close to the palace say Charles sees no benefit in reconnecting until Harry proves he can be trusted again. And William? He's reportedly not even open to conversation. The wounds cut too deep, especially after Harry's claims about private arguments and leaked texts. Meghan, meanwhile, has remained publicly silent, but insiders suggest her influence looms large behind Harry's approach. To the royals, forgiveness isn't a press quote. It's earned quietly, over time, and Harry's public appeals only deepen the divide. But while Harry pleads for a second chance, public opinion is taking a sharp turn. Once hailed as brave truth-tellers, Harry and Meghan are now watching their popularity nosedive. According to recent YouGov polls, Prince Harry's favorability in the UK has dropped to historic lows, while Meghan's sits even lower, hovering near just 20%. At first, the world was eager to hear their story, but over time, repeated interviews, carefully staged photo ops, and a steady stream of royal criticism began to feel less like honesty and more like a well-managed media play. Critics argue that the Sussexes want the perks of royalty without the responsibility, and it's a sentiment spreading fast. Meghan's ventures, like her podcast and lifestyle brand, haven't been met with the warm reception she likely hoped for. And Harry's once powerful narrative of being trapped in a gilded cage now feels out of touch, especially when delivered from a multi-million-dollar estate with security, luxury, and global reach. Even in America, where sympathy once ran high, fatigue is setting in. The public isn't just questioning their motives, it's tuning out. And for a couple who've built a brand on their story, apathy is more dangerous than backlash. And the royal family? They've moved from silence to strategy. The royal institution isn't just surviving the storm, it's recalibrating in real time. With King Charles at the helm and Prince William preparing for his eventual reign, the monarchy is shedding what it views as liabilities, and Harry and Meghan are first on that list. Palace insiders now hint at a long-term plan, Keep the Sussexes permanently distanced, both physically and publicly. No invitations to ceremonies, no chances at royal duties, not even casual appearances on balconies or birthdays. The message? You can't rewrite royal history while asking to be part of its future. Prince William, known for his controlled demeanor, is said to have hardened his stance, and many believe he's already decided. When he becomes king, there will be no role, ceremonial or symbolic, for his brother. Even Meghan's presence at future royal events is considered a non-starter. She's not just excluded, she's been erased from the narrative entirely. In royal tradition, history repeats. The Duke of Windsor once faced similar exiles after leaving for love. But unlike Harry, he never aired family grievances on international television. That silence bought him dignity. Harry's loud exit may cost him everything. And now, as the crown closes its gates, one question remains. Prince Harry made his choice, and now, so has the crown. What began as a bid for freedom has become a cautionary tale. One of exile, erasure, and a family that's done waiting for apologies. For Harry, there's no more soft re-entry, no ceremonial olive branches. The monarchy isn't playing the sympathy card, it's playing survival. And in that game, loose ends are cut, not coddled. What's most brutal is the method. The palace isn't lashing out publicly, it's freezing Harry out quietly. No statements, no rebuttals, just silence. And in royal terms, silence is a weapon. It tells the world everything without saying a word. As the public grows weary of interviews, polls nosedives, and Meghan's brand hits backlash after backlash, the fairy tale looks more like a failed pitch. The firm is forging ahead with William and Kate, crafting a future free of controversy and free of Harry. For a prince who once stood shoulder to shoulder with his brother on palace balconies, the distance now is both literal and symbolic. He traded duty for freedom, and what he got was rejection wrapped in velvet. So now we ask you, was the royal punishment too harsh or long overdue? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you want the truth behind the palace doors. No spin, just facts.